Want cheap insurance? Boy, have I got a story for you. Unfortunately, it's an all too familiar story, and this is the third time this year alone it happened. I'm all about trying to save money. Believe me, I'm doing it myself with my family. But it's not smart to take a gamble on something that covers your assets. $600 is a lot of money to save, but $600 off a standard policy, something didn't seem right. The argument was, hey Joe, I matched the coverage, apples to apples, and you were $600 more expensive. I said, it can't possibly be right. I said, I could be cheaper, or I could be more expensive, but never that much. I don't know if he was embarrassed, or he didn't want to take the time to look at it, but he thought I was going to sell him. So instead, he just said, Joe, good luck. I appreciate it. I'll check in next year. 4 days later, we get a pretty bad rainstorm with wind. He has damage to his roof. Called me up, said, Joe, I need some help. I said, what do you mean you need help? He goes, I had damage to my roof. My new insurance policy had a windstorm deductible. You know what the worst part about the story is? Is that he called my office asking me to help. And literally a week and a half beforehand, he left me to go to another online company. I told him, call the company and talk to the claims department. I can't get anybody on the phone, Joe. I know this is not every online carrier, but this guy, unfortunately it was. All he kept saying was, representative. No calls back. So much for that $600 a year savings that he had. Unfortunately, if he really let me look at each line of that policy, we would have caught that. I want to let him know there's the major difference for saving $600. Remember, apples to apples is not just basic coverage. It's every line on the policy. And if you don't know what you're getting, or if you're calling one of these online companies that are going to sell you a premium, this is where my clients find they get in trouble. So instead of saving $600, what it ended up costing him was $15,000 because he didn't realize he had a separate windstorm deductible on the home, which is why the policy was, of course, cheaper. Always check line by line, or at least let us review. If you're still not sure, always don't be embarrassed. Talk to the agent. We're not here just to sell you a policy and make a commission. We're here to protect your assets. At least this is how we do things at Campesano Insurance. Call 732-892-8826 or even go on jacampesano.com. Request a quote there. So a 20-year client of mine calls me up and says, hey Joe, my homeowner's insurance went through the roof. I can't stand it. It keeps going up and up and up. I have to shop it. We tried to shop it. Our rate was still the best of all our companies in-house. He called us back 3 days later. Joe, I got a much cheaper rate. I saved $600 a year.
But it can buy me a boat. It can buy me a truck.